Hello, welcome to the Money Saving Expert Big Switch Event 5 video. I'm Martin Lewis. I can't believe we're on the 5th one, but frankly it's been hugely successful. Hundreds of thousands of people have saved millions of pounds with our past big switches, and this one's looking to be one of the best ever, but I think maybe the best ever, but I can't quite go that far. You need to make up your mind yourself. So what is a collective switch? It's where a trusted intermediary, like a local council or a website, moneysavingexpert.com, sets up an auction of energy providers to get them to bid to provide special tariffs. What we do here is we pick on a mix of price and service, but we have a cast iron rule. We will only put our name to a tariff if the customer service is good enough, and sometimes we make them work specially with us, and it is on average cheaper than the market's cheapest equivalent tariff. If it isn't, we won't do it. And in fact, sadly, we have no prepaid winner this time because none of the bids that came in were cheaper than the market cheaper, so we won't get lost. Now, the only minor problem we have is we can't make this available to everybody because the rules say for the way that we work it, what you have to do is be a member. But thankfully, we can define membership of either being a pre-existing member of the Cheap Energy Club or getting the Martin's Money Tips weekly email. But remember, you need to use the email you signed up for that. If you've got a few of them, it has to be the right email or you won't be able to get the collective switch. And I'm pleased to say we get paid for this. We make around £60 per dual fuel switch. We then give you £30 of that, £15 per fuel as cash back. Among the 30 quid it goes to cover our costs and our suppliers and various other things, and we make a profit, I hope. So this is win for you because you're going to save a huge amount of money, and it's win for us because we get paid for doing so, and it helps provide, well, look around there, the staff. Why am I filming this at lunch? There's no one in. I promise there are more staff than there normally now. So let's get on to the winners of Big Switch 5. Here are our winning bidders. Number 1 is a British Gas tariff, who isn't normally the cheapest out there, but this special tariff is. How cheap is it? Well, the numbers I'm going to use are based on typical usage. So for someone in a typical home with typical usage, on average across the country, on a Big 6 standard tariff, you would pay £1,063 a year. If you switch to this British Gas tariff, £765 a year. That's nearly £300 a year cheaper, and as it's dual fuel, 30 quid cash back on top of that. And here's the good bit. If you're a British Gas or Sainsbury's Energy customer, remember Sainsbury's Energy is actually just British Gas under a different name, you can get this and you get the cash back. So if you're with British Gas, all you can do is go through the process here and you'll still be with British Gas, just paying around just under 30% less than you are right now. Absolute, total no-brainer. We also have, though, a 2-year fix, so that way the rate you're paying is locked in for longer. And that's quite interesting because we're seeing prices going up at the moment. If that continued to do so, in a year's time, you would be very glad you did this 2-year fix, but no one can fully predict the market. But for those of you who don't want to switch that often and are risk averse, this is not a bad deal at all. That's £841 a year. So if you're on a standard tariff, you'll still be saving around 250 quid a year, and you get this for 2 years. So you can forget about it for 2 years. And we've got a green deal too, which is 100% renewable electricity and has some renewable gas in it, which is very rare. It's from Bulb, and it's the cheapest on the market there too. Now, I talk about typical prices and average prices. One of the things that we always do with our collective switches is we make you do a comparison. You're going to do a comparison. You've got no choice. It's the only way you can get it. Why? Because look, prices vary with usage and where you are in the country. And I do not want you to have a deal that isn't the cheapest on the market. So as part of signing up for the collective, you'll get a result which includes all tariffs on the market. It's a full market comparison. We don't, like some comparison sites do, only show you the ones that pay us. You get to see everything, and you'll see whether these are cheapest or not. And if they're not cheapest and you prefer elsewhere, you're absolutely free to go for it. There's no problem at all with that. So just make sure you do the comparison. Of course, though, one of the advantages of the collective is that we're working with them on customer service because we wouldn't put Money Saving Expert's name on anything other than something that works. Now, if it does go wrong, of course, check your details first, get in touch with the company, whether it's British Gas or SSE or Bulb, and go to them first. But if that's not working, my team, and there's a couple of them standing behind the camera now who are just checking I'm saying the right things as we go through this, my team, their job, behind the camera, Dan, that's you, is to make sure it is sorted out on the back end or we wouldn't sign up for this at all. Okay, on to the logistics. How does switching work? Well, first of all, Once you go through the switch, we pass your application on to the provider, and they should be in touch within 10 working days. Always best, you've got to submit your opening meter reading so that you're going to get accurate bills. And if you're in credit, remember, on your old company, if you're moving company, so if you're British Gas to British Gas, you won't be, but everybody else who's switching company, you should get that credit back, and if they don't, call them up and ask for it back, don't let it go. If you're in debt, you can still generally switch, unless it's really high, but of course you will have to pay them back the money that they owe, so that's something that you need to factor into this. Overall, the switch should be completed within 3 weeks. Your cashback, though, won't come for around 3 months. It could be up to that long, because the way it works is you apply to us, we tell them, they switch you across, they then notify us after a long time that your switch is properly active, and by the time we get that, it takes 3 months to get you the cashback. But I promise it's coming, and if that doesn't happen, of course, get in touch with us. We will make sure this happens. But this only works if you go through Money Saving Expert. If you're with British Gas, you can't call them up and ask for this tariff. The regulations don't allow that. It has to be to this limited user group. Therefore, you have to do it through us. Any other issues I need to tell you about? Yeah. British Gas won't be credit checking for this. SSE will be credit checking. So there is a tiny, tiny chance, and it's a small percentage of people who may fail the credit check and be asked to pay £200 up front towards SSE. If that happens, you can cancel your switch with no problems at all, so don't worry about it particularly. Or you can pay them £200 up front if you've got it. It's just their way of saying, we're not sure whether you'll be able to pay, so we want some money up front to check that you do. That's it. Please go and do a comparison. See whether you can save money and how much. I talked about average price is £300. Of course, for some it'll be less, but in the past we've had some people saving in the thousands of pounds, especially if you've not switched in the last year. You are burning money, and it's time to stop burning it. Take it in your hand, a big wad of cash, put it in your pocket, and give less to the energy companies. Hope it goes well for you.